Hey guys,
Hello, hello.
welcome to Mulberry Branch Farms. First live in like forever.
Yeah, it's been a
It's
little
been
while.
a really long time.
Yeah.
I think the last time was prior to Thanksgiving, and then we were like, we didn't know if we were going to do another live because of the holidays.
Yep.
But the holidays are past, the year's winding down, and there's a whole new year to look forward to.
Yep. We're hoping everybody's thawed out after that Arctic blast that
Yeah,
looks like everybody got a piece of.
yeah. We
the
definitely got a
week,
big
yeah.
chunk of the Arctic vortex that decided to
Mhm.
make Christmas very, very interesting. It didn't stop any of our plans though. Luckily, it hit Friday, and Friday was really bad, and Saturday was touch and go. I
Yep.
know we were under travel advisories until Monday afternoon,
Yep.
but it didn't stop anybody because everybody out here's got four-wheel drive, so
Yeah.
nobody
It was
really.
more because of the blowover, of course, because of the wind. But on a
Wide
good note,
open
none of our
spaces.
animals were impacted. So.
Yeah, all the animals were fine, which was a good thing. We
Mhm.
did a lot of preparing. We shared a video about that. So if you guys kind of looking for ways to prepare for bad weather, any types of bad weather, really, the same guidelines pretty much go year round, regardless of temperatures or climates, on how to get your animals ready, really, when
Yep.
it comes down to it. But we did put in a lot of work trying to get everything ready for our animals so that they were not impacted. Because the less impacted they are during weather like that, the less impacted we are, because then
Mhm.
we're not forced to go out and triage emergencies or unsavory situations. But there were plenty of those I found
Yeah.
online from other people.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And the most important thing was keeping them out of the wind for sure, because the wind
the
here
wind was
was
what was bad.
really brisk.
It was
Yeah.
it got down to -10 here. And then the
That's the
feel like
actual
that's
temperature.
actual temperature.
Yeah.
And then the feel like temperature was -36
Mhm.
at the lowest. And it really was like, Mark was out in the barn with me in the morning. He's like, my eyes are trying to freeze.
Yeah. I actually have long eyelashes, surprising as it sounds. And the moisture mainly from like wearing something over your face, trying to
Mhm.
keep the least amount of exposed skin as you could. Like all that moisture would just like go up your face. So
Yeah.
it would like
Yeah,
freeze
it
on
was
your
all over my
eyebrows,
hat and
your
my eyelashes.
yeah,
and
eyelashes. So
yeah.
we
Hello,
got
Margie.
Margie.
You got our Christmas card. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
And Ashley is sporting your t-shirt,
I
by the
am.
way.
Look,
Crazy
the crazy goat lady. I've got the shirt.
Yeah.
So if it looks like I'm peeking at you,
Yeah,
like right
that's why I
here,
had to
it's
double
because
check.
like I kind of am. I kind of am. Do
Yeah.
a double take. I am peeking at all of you.
And we got Nicole and the service dog Gracie. Hello,
Well,
hello.
hello. How are you, Nicole? I don't think I've ever seen you in here before, so
Yep.
welcome. I'm glad to have you. We've just been talking about the Arctic vortex and how it affected us. Margie, did it get cold up there? I know in PA it probably did get
I think it
quite nippy. I'm sure you guys got what we got. And Nicole, where are you from? What region are you in? Because I'm always interested. It seems like even our southern neighbors got a lot of this terrible weather as well, which I feel worse for people that are down south, because they're not just them, but like the equipment for the roads, their animals, nothing is
They
acclimated.
even have to worry about frozen iguanas falling out.
Frozen iguanas falling out of trees.
I think so.
But they're just not, they're not prepared, nor are their animals acclimated to like bad weather like that. So I felt really bad for them, especially.
Yep. Hello, Sam.
North Carolina, okay.
Okay.
You love our goats.
They got some.
We love our goats too.
They got some of that cold too. I
Yeah.
saw. So.
Hi, Sam. How are you? -30 wind chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough here. The goats didn't even want to go outside. The donkeys were big wimps.
Yep.
Everything stayed. The chickens still have not come out of their coop, and they've had the door open. They're just like, no, that white stuff is still out there.
The funny thing is, our turkey went off and bedded before we could get him put away, and he actually made it fine through the night. We found him in the morning, and like he had a nice little sheen of ice over him,
all over him.
And then I went to catch him to throw him in the coop. I'm like, well, at least get you out of the wind. And then he went flying. So I was actually chasing him around for like 15 minutes in the cold, which was
helping to warm him up.
Yeah,
Tom said you look a little cold. We'll do some cardio.
Yeah.
But Tom was happy to be put in the coop afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really worried about Tom, actually, because like every time we go to get him, he flies up on top of our chicken coop. And even in like portions where I could probably jump and grab his leg, I'm always afraid I'm going to jump and hurt him or break his leg or injure him. So it was one of those like, well, if you decide you're going to stay out, you're going to stay out.
The funny thing is though, like when he beds down, like he'll tuck his head in and his feet, and he's pretty much insulated from all the weather. Like
it's crazy. Mark has a thermal scope. Yeah. So anybody doesn't know what a thermal scope is, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of like a little scope, and it picks thermal signatures. Helps us a ton at night, like when we have predators around, to kind of spot things far away without them actually knowing we're there. And when you put the thermal scope on Tom when he's roosted, you can't see Tom because like he just hides all of the exposed skin that would be like the biggest thermal signature. And he hides that away under his wings.
Which is
so like you can't really see him.
A good sign. That means he's insulated enough that his heat's staying in. When the heat's escaping, that's when you're going to see it on there. So it's amazing how he can.
Yeah. Oh, Nicole, -12 with the wind chill. Gross. I didn't want to go outside. No. Yeah, I don't blame you. Hi, Mo. How are you? Hello, Megan. How are you? Tell Dylan we said hello.
I saw Megan had a post that she had frozen water till like Monday.
What? Megan, did you seriously?
Yeah, Monday, I think it was.
My gosh.
Since Monday or something crazy. So
that's so awful.
My parents, my dad had a frozen water pipe actually bust in his bathroom, and actually, when was that? Monday morning. Yeah, Monday. I ended up going down there because we were off for work. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Really? I told you. But yeah,
I vegged all day.
It was that cold. It was funny because it was past the extreme cold, but when it sort of thawed out, it actually separated a joint. So.
Oh my gosh, Megan, I am so sorry to hear that. With the no water, that is insane. Gracie said, or Nicole and Gracie said, I went out and was in thermal underwear and blue jeans and got sick with a severe cold. It's like that though, because like really wind chills like that I find are tricky because once you start moving around, you don't realize how hard your body works. We come in and we're like stripping things off because like we're actually sweating when we hit that temperature difference coming from like -36 into like a nice toasty house where I could definitely see how people get sick easy like that, So I'm sorry you got a cold. That's actually one of the reasons we didn't go live a couple weeks ago. Like I was deathly ill.
Fighting for a while.
I was deathly ill for like a week. It was awful. I don't hardly ever get sick. So, and you can still tell, like, I'll probably get voice fatigue as we keep going, but yeah.
And we got Darren here tonight. We are super sorry we couldn't join your live.
We're so bummed. We were looking forward to it so much.
It's a big bummer for us, but
Marky pounded downstairs. He had to go with his pew-pews to make him feel better.
Had to find some quick comfort, but I know like our internet was spotty even through the next day.
Yeah, because of that storm coming in.
Everything was iced over and but it looks like you guys had a good time still. We listened in and we would have really enjoyed that group of people you had. So
yeah, we appreciate being invited though. Seriously, like
we would love to join again if our internet works.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So Mo said we hit -4 with -25 wind chill. That is insane. It's insane.
Well, hopefully all your animals are doing okay. Like I said, we were fortunate. We didn't lose any to it.
Well, the rooster did lose part of his comb.
Yeah.
He is very.
He didn't put any Vaseline on it?
I tried to, and he just bit the crap out of me. So I was
he's
like,
not
well,
a show rooster, so he'll be all right.
No, but he's definitely going to lose all of the spikes on his comb. There's a very defined black line, and everything above it has gone a light color. So I'm like, that's dead flesh. So, and honestly, guys, like just a quick tip: if you ever catch that frostbite and it's after the fact, after that black, do not put Vaseline on it. You're actually like encasing dead flesh against them instead of just letting it come off.
Yeah, after the fact.
A lot of people are like, well, I just put Vaseline on it. It'll help it. I'm like, no, actually you're sealing in dying flesh. You don't want to do that. So quick tip, don't do that. Darren says, we'll figure out another time and try it. I would love that. I would love that.
Fortunately, our cell phones still work. So we were like listening through cell phones. And then at night we used our cell phones to listen to video because I like having a TV on. But yeah, our internet definitely suffered from the cold.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating.
March, you're going to be 50 there. Crazy thing. It's almost 50 here.
Yeah.
The snow is melting, which is a really, really good thing. So, and we had a small win on Christmas Eve. Some of you know and some of you don't because like the video's not ready, nor have I made lots of posts because I've been extremely embarrassed about this. But the last time we were on a live, we were talking about we had a fox issue. We went from well over 30 birds to I now have 11. One night he just caught me with my pants down. Like one side of the coop was not closed. They flew out last second and I said, I will remember to close that. And I didn't. And the fox took advantage. The next couple of times he came was like while I was out closing things up and then right before I closed things up. So he has my routine time, but Christmas Eve, my family was all here. We always get together and make chicken cordon bleu and do all of my side of the family comes up and we do Christmas. Was outside feeding the goats, and the dogs were just going psycho, like down by the chicken coop. And ever since we've had this fox issue, our chicken coop is actually raised up off the ground, and there's like a crawl space of like this. So like I can't get in it, my kid can't get in it, but it makes it a wonderful cooler for a fox to kill lots of chickens and hide it underneath the coop so they stay nice and chilled whenever it wants to come back. So I went around the outside and I kind of made it to where there's only one entrance to get in, and the dogs were going crazy. Went down there and came flying, and I was like, Mark, get a rifle. Something's underneath the coop. I don't know what it is, but I'd rather you come out with something to take care of this if it is our fox. And it was our fox.
Yep.
So we were able to take care of our fox issue. Sadly, I've never felt worse about defending my flock. I think fox are really pretty, but they're like the worst thing besides mink that you could have coming to your coop. Like to the point where I couldn't free range. I had to keep everything closed because he was just coming like that. When he came last Saturday, it was at 4:00 in the afternoon and I was out feeding the goats. It came while I was feeding my goats, and it didn't even care. It came from inside the goat pen when we were looking at the tracks in the snow. So we have one less fox, and I'm going to try my hand at skinning and tanning the hide to keep the fur on once he thaws out, because he's like an ice block right now because of how cold it's been. So he's thawing out. But
Mo said the horses are doing great as long as the neighbors mind their own business.
Oh gosh.
So I guess the cold wasn't necessary.
Well, is it one of those where you've got like neighbors that are like, bring them in? I'm like, they're made for this weather. As long as they can get out of it, get out of the weather and away from exposure, they're fine. Mm-hmm. Like they're totally built to take on this stuff. So I hope that's not what you're dealing with.
Yep. Nicole said it affected her eyes. The window did.
Oh, did it?
It was like
harsh on your watered skin. Like so bad. And I'm like, no, don't water. It's gonna. I could see why you said yours was gonna freeze because mine kept watering.
Then on top of that, you come in and your skin is just red from the wind rash, basically. With the wind. I mean, it got windy enough here. It broke one of our barn latches. We've had some severe winds and thunderstorms, and that's never happened.
It's never happened.
It ripped it. I think it had in part due to the cold too, though, because it like peeled the wood off of the door.
It was very odd, but it rained. So for us, like it rained for a day and a half before the storm came. So anything that had moisture, just like instantly, just like flash freezing. I know at least 2 of my hives are okay. There's one in question. I'm hoping tomorrow when it gets warm enough, as long as it's above 50, I can crack into my beehives. But using that thermal scope is nice because I can go down there and get a thermal signature, and I can tell which hives have heat coming from. There's one where I'm like, I don't see thermal, but they're a bigger hive, so they might actually be like in the very middle, So I don't know. Arima, hi. Thank you for putting your name because I always remember you have an interesting name. We came through the storm okay. All your girls
guys did as well.
Yeah, we hope you did too because it was rough.
Karen said it had been -10 all week Celsius, not too bad.
I need to get a new fox hat for sure. I know your mom was like, at least the tail. And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to try for the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So
it's a big fox.
It is a big fox.
Just in general. I mean,
Marky
we set in our little Australian mini.
Just to keep him pinned. Because I was afraid he was going to try to shoot out the other side.
And we had trouble seeing him under there. Like he was hiding him. Unfortunately, there's a lot of supports under there. So he was going in and out of those. So it was hard to spot him.
Even with the thermal, he was hiding like right behind columns where you might see like a tiny bit of black. Yeah. And it was like, there is something there, but we just couldn't tell what it was.
He like scooted under there though. He was ready to go.
Oh yeah. I opened it up. I'm like, Jane, go get it. And he went right in, which there's not enough room down there to tangle. So I felt fine about that, but it was enough to keep him pinned. But it was the worst. That's the worst animal I think I've ever had. It just looks so pitiful.
But yeah, it was a big one.
Pitiful until I see him
and he was
snacking on 25
to come
chickens.
Back because
he was, the thing is today, like I left a lot of the last massacre underneath of the coop because I'm like, it's going to get cold.
Back,
and I'm like, you've killed and you've left them there.
He was stashing them there.
He was stashing them. So I'm like, you will come back. And I had actually put foot traps like in that entrance. And there was one night, was it a week and a half ago, where it had been set off and it was pulled away. And I actually think like he was bringing out a bird because when I went to get the rest of the birds out today after we've caught him, there should have been 6 birds under there. There were only 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd definitely been coming back and taking those birds and had just been sidestepping my foot trap. And I think maybe the bird grazed it as he was bringing it out. So he definitely, I don't mean to feed him, but it worked. I mean, we just wanted to get him used to coming back in through there, and he definitely felt comfortable. But yeah, new fox hat for me, I guess.
Yeah.
I woke up with crusty eyes. Oh
Nicole,
no.
yeah.
That's awful. That's almost like when what is that? When you weld, you get flash.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Like a flat.
Yeah.
Like when he used to work in a shop, you couldn't look like right at a weld, which you never should look right into the weld. But he said you'd get flash if you looked into it for too long. So kind of like what you got there, Nicole. I'm sorry to hear that.
You get sick, you go like gunk in your eyes too.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
everything's
true.
all congested.
That's true. Every sinuses,
yeah.
everything gets gunked. So Mo says, I'm about to post a video, tell what we went through. Oh no. Well, I am interested, but I feel bad that anything going through stuff with neighbors is just the worst. You know, it's not like an easy to solve type deal. So it's always like walking a tightrope because you don't want to make anybody mad because they can always become a worse problem. Yeah. So I'm sorry to hear that you're going through anything like that.
Remember you vented a little bit on your post when the farmer mowed down
your
big
meant
garden.
Well. Yeah. But boy, I let some cuss words. I'm a Christian and I really try not to cuss, but that was one day where I was just like, I just planted all these natives that I bought.
You spent some money on those flowers.
I did.
Went somewhere and picked them up.
1/3 of them came back this year.
Yep.
None of my milkweed came back. I killed all of it. It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay. It will be all right. At least that's what I'm going to keep telling myself.
I'll let you drive that since every time I accidentally click on it. She's got Mac up. There you go. We're learning to drive the MacBook. I don't really use it. So
she said, Arisha says it was colder than I have ever experienced. -24 with the wind chill burn.
Yeah.
But 64 today. See, that's what's going to get you guys sick though.
Yeah, the up and downs is hard.
Because I know we were out a lot today. Just trying to catch up after the snow. There's still tons of snow drifts, but we only got like 3 inches of snow. So it wasn't a significant snowfall.
Just sort of acting wonky after that.
I have one goat that so I've run, Arisha, maybe you can help me with this and throw some suggestions. So I took her to my daughter's fair and she started, like most goats, she's young, she had scours. So treated her, with the normal things to kind of help with the gut. We put her on GI back on track, activated charcoal, kaolin pectate. We had fecals run. One fecal said coccidiosis, and then the next fecal said strongles. So she's like going through the line of these things that are affecting her mostly because she's been stressed. And I don't think she's ever bounced back from the stress of a fair. And took a fecal last week after I was not very nice to a vet tech. I was just very frustrated.
You kept going in circles.
She basically was asking me to pay for things. I'm like, I already know the answer to this. Like, I don't need to pay for that. But had a fecal done and it came out completely clear, but she still has not like scours, but they're not pellets either. They're just, and it's not like the clay clumpy stuff either, like where you can see pellets in it. It's like kind of like that, but like goopy. And it's not normal goat poop. I'm sorry for anybody who's eating dinner. But I'm like at that point where I'm like, well, I've given her bentonite clay. I bought a new type of probiotic to give her. I've been giving her Spectagard to try to help dry her up. She's still on GI back on track. I'm going to go back and do like a 3-day of triple dosed Land of Avidity dewormer on her. I've got one other doe that she's just starting to look a little bit thin. It's weird. Like she's in good spirits. She's eating like crazy. Femantia is great.
She's always been
just
sort
thin.
of stocky. But
she's always been a fat goat, but she is 7 or 8 now. So I'm thinking maybe age is catching her. But do you know what that might be? I have literally done anything.
Hello, Mama Burton.
Hi, Mama Burton. You can hear about my woes with poopy goats.
Our worst predator so far was a mama raccoon. We had a coyote take one and a hawk take one, but the raccoon took several before we got her. We had a lot of issues with hawks this past summer.
Hawks are really bad this year. Bottle rockets have been the only thing that have been our saving grace.
Just to deter them.
Because our government wants to protect them more than let us protect our livestock. So, which is totally cool. I get it. Respect that. But bottle rockets are the only thing.
Big enough too. Like we have lavender Orpingtons, or we did have them. But
for the fox and
which is a larger chicken, and those things would still hit those.
Still hit them.
When we had ducklings, they actually come down and pluck off ducklings, and the mama ducks
will attack them.
Yeah, we actually witnessed one jump up and
she met him mid-air, and he didn't get any ducklings.
So they're definitely fighters, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raccoons are rough. Like I said, they're the worst we've ever dealt with when it comes to like being very clever and timed me out more than timed my routine better than I could time theirs was a mink and a fox.
Yep.
Those have been the absolute, like, will kill your entire coop before you know what's even going on. And bold, so bold. But the hawks, at least with bottle rockets, anytime we even see a hawk remotely close or sitting in a tree, like we will fire a bottle rocket, not at it, but in the general direction, in a safe direction, because the pops are enough to freak it out, you know? So that's helped us a lot with hawks. Yeah. Or like I've seen people talk about putting up CDs or things that are really shiny and reflective because it messes with their vision, and they don't like that, which makes sense. Some people use laser pointers on them, but I would rather scare them than blind them. That's a terrible way to go. That would just be a slow, starving death. You'd think wearing glasses would be helpful. You would think that would be helpful, but maybe it creates it.
Like a goggles or something.
Yeah, just like seals.
Well, they do wear them in like those Antarctic adventures. They always have the big goggles. They're sealed.
Yeah, maybe soon we can group live that. I know, Mo. I would really love to do that. Yeah. I was really interested to do that with you guys this week, but I don't know. It seems like everybody gets busy, but it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Like the closer to spring we get, we're in a pretty good spot. So what she's eating, she's been on hay and alfalfa pellets, and my entire herd gets a small ration of grain, and we're weaning off of that. They get Kalmbach textured 16%, and they get milk and meat mixed in with alfalfa pellets and hay as much as they can possibly get, with loose minerals along with trace mineral block that they can take whenever they want. We're pulling off of grains because we're done with breeding season. And once we get past that first month after they've been bred, and I can confirm they've been bred, and we're done flushing, I stop grain, we wean them off, and then we don't start graining again until about a month before delivery dates. So yeah, that's what she's eating. I don't know if that's helpful. Nobody else in my entire herd has this going on with them, which is what's bothersome to me, because we've got a herd of over 30. So they're all basically getting the same thing. It's just she's not getting better. So I don't know. I don't know if it's genetics, because I know sometimes you just have animals that just are not healthy, you know, like there's something with them that makes them a little bit different. They have a lower immune system, which I could start dressing her stuff with garlic to up her immune system and giving her like oranges and bananas to kind of help with that. But I don't know. What about Manoprogen? You know, I use that a lot, but I've used that, and I've used the regular probiotic. Yeah, because it's got a lot of like the probiotic and lots of minerals and things in it that are good for goats. But I actually was recommended to use Doc's probiotic. So it just came, and it's like got colostrum in it. So it's got a lot, it's different, but it's specifically for like it does have like a ration for goats, which most things you don't see where it's actually approved for goats. So I've just started her on that. But she's scaring me, because I'm like, you've been on like this on and off for months. Like, I just cannot get it cleared up. She still eats. She's still in good, like, acts like she's fine. It's just, she's smaller because she's stunted because of this. And she just generally doesn't look as healthy.
Dealing with it for a little while too.
Yeah, but she's still like, her body scoring is still good. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. I ultrasounded her. She's not pregnant. She came back open. So I'm not. If
she's drinking water and maybe add apple cider vinegar.
I could do that. I usually do that. Yeah. We haven't done. I usually do that. Hey Dana, what's going on from Growing Dreams Homestead? Hey y'all, have a young eagle. What? We have a young eagle that I'm pretty sure took a couple. Yeah, we have eagles that fly over all the time. They scare me to death.
The fortunate thing around here is there's a big lake nearby, and they sort of settle into the fish.
And we have ospreys
because they are huge.
Yeah, and we have ospreys that are not even an acre away on the cell phone tower, and the ospreys will fight with them like demons.
My friend actually lives under a cell phone tower, and one day he went out, and an eagle and osprey were fighting in midair. Yeah, so he said it was wild to watch.
It really, when we see eagles, like they don't. But I worry with the goats, because like Nigerian dwarf kids are small enough, so I don't know. I think I'm ready to retire donkeys and do LGDs. I don't know. I love my donkeys, but I just don't. They're not livestock guardians. Like they're just not. So Okay. So Arisha says, I'm not sure. I haven't had that issue. My sister over at Twin Bridge Farms had a doe that was really bad, and she was able to bring her back. Some worm load, it sounds like. I know, but her fecal comes back clear. It was like the last thing. The vet tech that works there is actually, she's my mentor, and she called and she's like, there's nothing. She's like, there are no eggs. There's no coccidia. She's like, it's one of the cleanest fecals I've looked at, which makes absolutely no sense. Yep. So she was recommending to give Nuflor, which I really wouldn't give unless it was for respiratory issues, because she said there are good GI properties that come with administering Nuflor. But I didn't see anything come out of that. So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to keep going. Maybe it's one of those where it just time will tell. Isaac says, I'm not 100% sure it was hawks, but a couple of my homing pigeons went missing. We let them free fly, and hawks are awful too. Yeah, especially small birds like our ducklings would just be gone. Big birds, there's puffs of feathers. You can just tell, and the necks down into the crops are gone. That's usually what the hawks will eat. The only drawback about eagles is that you can't kill them. You can't kill any bird of prey. I think there's the only raptor we can actively kill here in Indiana is black vulture, because they actively hunt calves and small animals, which I'm like, well, you have hawks that actively hunt my animals all the time, but we won't get into that.
We know that peck the eyes out.
Yeah, they do. We actually had it was crazy. We had a couple cases that were popping up on Facebook. You get community chats, and they're like, this is the 5th raccoon I found with no eyes. And really, we all thought somebody was going around and torturing these poor animals, and come to find it's black vultures will target small and helpless animals or younger animals and go for the eyes. And they were getting away from the vultures, but not without being blinded. It's kind of awful. Do they make probiotics for goats? Yeah, they do. At Tractor Supply, there's a probiotic for goats. This Docs probiotic I'm using is for goats. You can even do just plain Greek yogurt is enough of a probiotic to give to a goat in a pinch. Since personally, poopy goats get hay only to readjust their room 12 daily probiotics, ACV and water. May try red cell if that helps with anemia. Yes, on the garlic. Then I'm going to have to go with the garlic and just. I hate quarantining her again because that's what I did. Yeah. I just think she's a lost case, honestly, because she has been taken aside and just given only hay, and it did nothing. Yeah. It's the weirdest thing. Hello, old Rennie. I'm guessing that's Kat. Yeah. How are you, Kat? Okay. So, I guess that. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping if I keep giving her this probiotic that it will help. And I'm thinking about just seeing if she wants yogurt too, just giving her yogurt. It's just the craziest thing. I appreciate you really trying to help though. It's just why it's stumping me to death. Cause it's I've never had, in the 10 years we've been doing this, I've never had a goat that's been this tough. You worry if it's just a physical issue with the digestive tract. Yeah. And I know Tiana was not the thriftiest of does. She ran on the frail and the thin side. And honestly, I have another doe in my herd, and I'm just, with doing shows and having the linear appraisals and honestly starting to understand what I'm looking at when I'm looking at my stock. Yeah. You can start pinpointing animals where I'm I understand why this is scoreable, because it actually affects how productive they are and how they carry themselves. And it's kind of just an outward showing of their internal health. So she's just, I'm not going to quit on her. Yeah. But it's one of those things where I'm I wouldn't be surprised if I can't beat it, because we've been going at it for months, but we're getting away from the grain. So hopefully my other girls will be super upset. Yeah. They're going to be super mad, but it's time to get off of that because everybody's pretty much bred that needs to be bred.
Mm-hmm. You got Patty here tonight. Hello, Patty.
Yeah, Patty. Howdy. Good to see you. I got your message on congratulations on your new digs. I am super excited about that. I am super excited that you got to, get out of where you wanted to get out from. And you just kind of took a walk of faith there. She's been
waiting for a while.
Yeah, a walk of faith. That's super nice. Yogurt for the win. Goat yogurt. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It might even be a good probiotic if you made yogurt from their milk, because I do know some breeders will give their milk back to their goats if they want it, because there are good qualities there. And recycling calories, and all that good stuff.
Dairy in, dairy out.
Yeah. You're ridiculous. Arisha says, oh, hey, I get that. I'm dealing with the dough. I haven't been able to get to settle. Ugh. We have 4 more days to see if the last breeding took. She had settled in the post. No problem. New dough dust. I see. I have 3. No, I had 4 that were open at ultrasound time, which I actually had a friend that she just got an ultrasound machine. So she let me take a crack at it last Monday before it was still cold.
Yeah.
But we were out there and it's super cool. Like I'm going to buy an ultrasound machine now because like, it's so neat. I hope you get her to settle though. That is so
questions
frustrating.
You have if some those been bred or not.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it helps a ton.
Yeah. Like, because even my sickly doe was bred and has not come back into season, but I'm like, there's no way with what I had to treat her with, because after she got bred, I'm guessing it's a spike in the hormones. She had like a terrible episode where I'm like, we have to stop this right now. And I knew what I was giving her was going to make her probably abort. And yeah, she hasn't come back into heat, but she's open. 100% she's open by the ultrasound. I hope you get her to settle. I have one freeloader that didn't settle last year, has settled for me 3 times prior. And this is what her 4th heat but I've got it on the calendar. So this time next week, I'm either going to be cursing her or kissing her, it's going to be one of those things.
Yeah.
So
she's one of our larger does too.
She's
She's definitely heavy.
I know that's part of it.
Healthy.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That she is.
She looks pregnant already.
Well, she did in the summertime, and she was getting nothing but pasture. No, nothing. So she's a freeloader. She's a freeloader, which is okay.
Yep.
So what did we all get for Christmas? Put it in the chat. I want to know what you guys got for Christmas.
She said God has blessed me greatly.
Yes.
We agree. Yep.
I'm glad for those answered prayers. That's something that
he's always on time too.
Yeah.
Even when
he knows the desires of your heart.
It takes longer than it should. It always is.
Yeah, we actually have something that we've been praying on for a while now, that it's something that we've always talked about that we wished would happen. And then it would kind of put at our feet and we're like, okay, it's going to happen. So we got to get ready for it. And now we haven't heard anything back for a long time. So that doesn't mean it's a no or that it's not happening. It just means that we need to be patient. And I'm not a patient person. I am a Mark knows this, like go now. Oh no, she's new to us, milk stars and all. Oh, that is the worst too. It's always the one that you're like most looking forward to getting their genetics. You're like, for the love of God, please. Yeah.
That's like my sister. She bought a real nice flock and had some up and downs early on with them. I know she was pretty frustrated, but fortunately, he's come around the past month or so. Yeah, so just hang in there. Hopefully,
I know.
Things take an upturn.
But ours is now she's fat. Yeah, now she's super fat. And I'm like, that's gonna keep you from getting bred.
Yep. Oh, Darren's got to head out. Sounds like I need to put more material for the tokes Brigitte is making. Okay. Well, thanks for stopping in, Darren.
It was so nice seeing you. The Arctic Blast is what you got for Christmas.
I think all of us.
We all got that gift whether we wanted it or not.
Yep.
I got the COVID cough for Christmas. That was wonderful. Loved that.
Like that is hitting you regularly around Christmas past couple years.
Around Christmas time. I get super hyped for Christmas and I get too much into it and then my immune system drops. Yeah. Or it's after milking and after like the busy season.
Look at Generational Homestead. A milk
machine. Woohoo! That's awesome.
If you got goats,
so
that's
helpful.
A lifesaver.
That's so helpful. Patty said, I got the best visit with my son and daughter-in-law where we were all relaxed and we went out for a lovely lunch. Cool. It was the most fantastic gift ever. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Patty. That does sound wonderful. Time. Santa Arctic Blast and a white Christmas. Yeah. I'm getting a greenhouse built. What?
That is
Arisha, that is so awesome. I'm a little jealous on that. I am a little jealous.
That's on our bucket list still to do.
Yeah. We didn't get each other gifts this year.
Got me a shirt.
Got you a shirt. And I got a shirt for me from him.
Yep.
But we get things all throughout the year. So we're blessed in that way. Where
I think that buck we got, we sort of said wasn't really one, didn't we?
Yeah, it wasn't expensive. That was his idea too. Yeah. That was not my idea.
I knew she'd like a goat for Christmas. So
yeah, he's like, we had to go look at this goat while we were at a show. It was the only other lady that had any goats that grand championed outside of Willow. So we were like, yeah, if you're grand championing and getting first in the class on all the classes.
Yeah, she went down to Nail and did real well too.
Her Actually, my Bucks Grand Dam took grand champion at NAIL, which is, you guys know what NAIL is. Supposed to be, well, North American International Exhibition Livestock Exhibition Exposition. Something with an E.
You're getting close.
So I was really happy about that. The dam scored super high as a first freshener through AGS. AGS does not keep first freshening appraisal scores, but she scored 91.5 as a first freshener. So I was super happy to get this buck and to have his genetics pumped into my herd.
It looks like Margie was a big winner. Lottery tickets won $45.
What?
A Bluetooth speaker, air purifier. My son and his wife spent the day with me.
Oh, that sounds
like
wonderful. We do lottery tickets like the scratch offs every year at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like years that I like clean the house. Like I always won off them. Here in the last couple of years, I have not been
not the same luck.
Not that successful. I used all my luck up in a couple of years. It has waned. I have waning luck.
Still fun to do.
It was still fun to go to, but yeah. Christmas we got to spend it with our families.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing, honestly.
Had a good time.
And always say a nice little prayer for people that do not have families to share it with, because I know Christmas can be, these holiday seasons can be hard for people just all together. You know, even if you have loved ones, sometimes like you can still get like holiday blues or, you know, the seasonal depressions. I think I'm actually feeling the seasonal depressions a lot more this year than usual because it's Arctic blast on Christmas. Good note,
we're on the longer day side of things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we noticed we could see like light on the horizon at 6:30 p.m. I was like, look, you can just see a little bit of light on our way back from dinner tonight. And that was super nice.
That's a positive note.
It was a positive note. So I look back at 2022, since we've talked about Christmas. What's something you are super happy about that has happened to you in 2022? We want to hear your wins because nobody else is going to celebrate your wins but you most of the time. I
will say a win also was during the Arctic blast, our water heaters kept our water from freezing, which was amazing with the negative.
The only bad
30s.
thing, goats didn't want to walk to the water.
Yep. So we still had to bring.
Still had a bucket water inside.
Yep.
Which I allowed for the first.
But yeah, they're
36
just
hours.
Cheap. They look like washers, like hardware washers. You use on a bolt and have a little wire connected to them, and those do well.
Yeah, they do.
Can't say I wouldn't recommend them.
Yeah.
So
now we just need something for the chickens
and the ducks. Well, we ordered a floating one for the ducks.
But... What were our wins? That's a good. Well, Arisha, you're so thoughtful.
Yep.
So for me, I think I got to do a lot with my goats this year. Like we took the next step. We started showing. I almost finished my first doe in my first show season, which was nice. We did linear appraisals. That same doe scored a 90 at linear appraisals, and we did milk testing this year. So we went from like not being serious to like all the things. And we helped to organize a homesteading conference in our state. And I've already started planning for the next one next year. So it has been a fantastic year, but it's been a year of like lots of growth and expansion, which means like you guys suffered on this end. So like I didn't get to make many videos. I'm still working on stuff from just heads up, Margie, I'm working on Dilly's last video like today. So it'll be out probably this week. So just brace. Brace. But Dilly passed away in October. So I'm still working on October stuff to bring to you guys. But there's been so much growth here that it's been one of those like priorities. I still make like a video, most of the time, like a video out a week, unless like I'm super, super busy.
New raised garden beds. Those did well this year.
New raised garden beds.
Did really well.
They did. That was our best garden we've ever had. I started pressure canning this year. Started pressure canning this year.
You recently made soap.
I made soap.
Yeah.
I did lots of things that scare the crap out of me this year.
Yep. So made some big
big
leaps and bounds. So
look at you bringing up all the highlights. Are those your wins too? Do you have different wins than me?
No, those are good wins for me. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to have a big win next year because I feel like it's still coming. I will talk about it when we like know for sure if it's going to happen or if we know it's not going to happen. And then I'll share like what the opportunity was and if it passes us by. And that's fine if it passes us by.
Arisha said, "Are surviving the worst." Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some areas I know way worse
Yeah.
than us. I mean, we
Way
were
worse.
dry. Honestly, like we were trying to dig a couple of posts a couple weeks ago for our
The
duck pen to
that's
finish
taking
it
us
up.
2 years.
Yeah, like we Premiere One. The nice thing about it is it's easy to use and set up.
But it
Bad
makes
thing
you
is
lazy on your
it makes you
project.
push off your projects because you're
Yep,
like, oh,
makes
it's
you
got
lazy.
fencing for now. But digging the posts, even using a tractor, like going down 36 inches, it's dry. I mean, it's
And it's a
dust
low
coming-
spot.
Yeah.
So it should be the opposite.
I mean, usually when we dig holes here, if you leave a hole sit overnight, there'd be water up to about 12
our water
inches.
table is extremely high.
Yeah.
Our
that
sump
tells you
pump
how high.
runs almost 24/7 year
Yeah.
round. Yes, it
We're
does.
like 3 months.
We've gone through like 3 sump pumps. We've only been here like 12 years. Really?
Yeah.
2?
It
It runs a lot, guys. He wants to get real technical. It runs a lot because it actually feeds water to our ducks. But we noticed this year, like it didn't run as much after July. So we're with you. We're with you. Thank God we moved to hugelculture is the only thing I can say because it saved our garden beds. We didn't have
But that's
to
how
water
dry
them
it is. I mean, it's.
But that is something to be proud of because that takes gumption and drive when you are going through a drought, especially when you do what we do, Arita. We are slaves to the weather, whether it's good weather or bad weather or lack of precipitation. So I'm glad you got through it. Got my kidding pens done. That's awesome.
Yep.
Super excited for you.
Envious because we still need to build out some. We have like the temporary.
We have Seidel drop pin panels.
And honestly, I'd like to build some nice kidding pens since we really have a dedicated kidding area.
We do have a kidding barn.
It'd be nice. Even we'd still like them to be able to break down so we can scoop out and clean them easier.
Yeah.
But we definitely need to
get
a better set, especially since the Seidel ones, micro Nigerian babies can still get through them somehow or another.
They always do.
Yeah.
They always do. And they're just short enough where regular Nigerians can jump over them if they want. So Dana said, establishing my new garden area and building my greenhouse. Great harvest year.
Oh,
that's awesome. That's super awesome, Dana.
The greenhouses
that's amazing.
are making me jealous. Because I know it's something on our bucket list.
Yeah, it is.
Our dining room table turns into our greenhouse for a bit.
It does. It becomes a science lab in here. Yeah, it becomes
a nice
science lab in our house. Like, and probably starting February this year, it's going to become a science lab again. I really need to start fodder though with the chickens. It's about the time of year I do pot. Don't apologize. Goodness, the farm is your life.
Definitely is.
Much is. People always tell us like all the fun things they get, or they go on like these trips, and I'm like, I bought a milking machine because my hands can't take anymore.
There's Generational Homestead, speaking of milking machine, talking about theirs.
Yeah, so DIY area goat milking machine, 2-in-1 milk machine for cows, goats, electric vacuum pump. Very nice.
Yeah, adjustable suction, which is good for goats.
That is good. That is good.
7-liter stainless steel bucket.
100%.
Sounds awesome.
Well, good job. Good for you. And that'll make your hands feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Mine only somewhat go numb during milking season.
Do you know if they have Nigerians too, or they have?
I don't know. Generational Homestead, what kind of goats do you have?
Because
we assume everybody has Nigerians because we have them.
We know how big a blessing is with a milking machine in Nigerians because their teats are so small. Like I can't hardly milk them.
People have bred for pets, not milkability of teats. So we have 3 in our herd that I'm like, oh my God, I could hand milk you all day long. And there are others where I'm like, oh my God, this is so awful. Yeah. So milking machines are huge. Vicky from Idaho says, learning to pressure can and finding so many great channels on YouTube. Isn't that awesome. Nice though, when you do find good channels, because then, I've been really bad about not discovering new channels, but it is nice when you find channels where you're like, you look forward to them putting out a video all the time.
The pressure canning is a win.
The pressure canning is a huge one. You know what? I was really scared, Vicky. I don't know what I was scared of now.
Tried some of the chicken that you canned.
Yeah, I actually just cooked some of the chicken because we
lived through it.
So. Nobody puked. Yeah. Nobody got the runs. We're good. No, we lived to tell the tale.
Turned out well. I mean, yeah, it was good. So here's the more canning.
Oh, Margie said my fur baby passed on October 28th. So next month I'm going to a shelter and adopting an older fur baby. I need a companion. Oh, well, that's and good for you for going to a shelter and giving like an older baby a home. That is hard. I'm really sorry to hear that, but it's a good thing you're doing going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, greenhouse, congrats. Yeah, hoping to get milk room done before January 1st.
Generational Homestead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Generational.
I said greenhouse.
GH greenhouse. I'm
the,
sorry, but
and generational homestead, hoping to get the milk room done before January 1st. Yeah, it hopes to have a dedicated milk room.
it does, especially
Actually,
like if you decide you want to sell for like
set
for
up.
Indiana. Indiana hates raw milk.
Mhm.
They hate. I'm sorry. I'm not going to boast on Indiana as being the best homesteading state ever. It's just not. There are lots of laws in place to keep us from not being able to make really good livings off of our home without the government being firmly planted in the middle of it, which I do not like. Sorry. Tinfoil hat's coming off now. But if like in order for us to sell milk, like we can only do licensed consumption, but it's nice to have a room where you can actually keep things clean because honestly, and that's like one of our number one like compliment when people come to the farm is they're just like, wow, you have your own milk room and it's really nice and it's clean. It's like it needs to stay clean though.
Have a dedicated area like that, the goats know right away.
Yeah,
she can just
it
let them out
establishes
and they
routine.
run right in there.
Yeah, which people think that's crazy. Like if they've never been to a goat farm, because we've had people and I'm like, they came over while we're milking. I'm like, why don't you just open up that gate? 2 will come out. And they'll go right in there. They're like, no, it's like they'll all come out. I'm like, no, only 2 will come out. They know their order. They know when they're supposed to come out. And they did. The 2 goats came out, went right up on the stands. And so they're like, that is amazing. And I'm like, they just really love routine. Yeah. So I'm glad that you're getting that for yourself too. You're just going to be a whole dairy by the end of next year, Generational Homestead. Like I'm excited for you. So Margie said those pictures of Dilly sent me at last Christmas with her deer horns on. I having them put on a canvas to hang on my wall.
That's special.
It is special because she was a really special girl.
Mm-hmm.
Margie, you're gonna make me cry because I was already like crying trying to edit the video. I'm like,
Patty said my win was being able to submit and surrender to God's will this year and have Him lead me to buying this house to see that I'm no longer
ruled by my
emotions. Yeah,
that is a really tough one to conquer too. That is a really tough one to conquer. I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah,
I am very much ruled by my emotion and fear.
Yep,
and it's not wise to be fearful most of the time. And there are some instinctual fears that are given to us.
Yeah,
it's like not to touch spiders because spiders are scary. They might kill us. Yep. You know. Arisha says this last year went fast, establishing our farm, growing a garden, and getting to can so many things. Made a ton of soap, and Jeff is finally getting to work in the new shop. That's amazing. That's awesome. Everybody's had so much growth this year.
Yeah.
That gets me so excited though, because then you get so much growth. Like then you get to that point where you're comfortable doing more things that you never thought you could do. And then you become like super almost like a master of the things that you were scared of, because it's like when you conquer fear, you do it all the time because you're like not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
So like that's awesome. I'm excited to see where you're going to be like a year from now.
Or just getting the rewards from growth like we did with the garden boxes and expanding that area.
Yeah, none of our garden went to waste. We're usually a little bit wasteful when it comes to our garden. This year we weren't wasteful. And actually being able to can has made it to where like I look at things that come in and I'm like, I can dehydrate that, or this ham is 89 cents a pound. I can take it home and I can can it, and that's going to save me money down the road. So that's good. Plant Your Garden TV. Hello.
Glad to have you tonight.
Good to see you.
Generational Homestead has a mix there.
Nigerian Alpines, Nubians, and mixes, all different sizes.
Cool.
Well, that's interesting.
I grew up with Alpines, so I'm always
he's
a fan,
an Alpine
favorite of.
If I had to go to standards though, it would be Alpines for you and Toggenburgs, because I love the way Togs look, and they're not huge. They're not huge like a standard breed. They're one of the smaller to medium sized standard breeds, not like your Nubians and your like La Manchas that are massive.
Teats, which is totally true.
It is totally true. So like, did you get different size inflations? Because I'll be honest, I have a simple pulse, and like I didn't get the Nigerian inflations. They've just got regular inflations, and they work just fine. Though I am interested to buy Nigerian dwarf size inflations just to see if they work better for them. But it was an additional cost when I got mine. I was like, I'm already maxed out on the simple pulse that I'm buying. That can milk 2 goats at one time.
To see if it does help though, especially since, like you said, some of those have different size teats. Even they're the same breed, but they'll still have smaller and bigger teats. So
sorry, I just read Arisha's comment. She says nobody got the runs from your chicken. Feed that to your dough.
Don't know if she'd be one to. We did mix it with barbecue and jalapenos. So
Well, yeah, I can make more.
Yeah.
I got tons down there.
I'd be
Cans.
shocked, Siri. We'd invite her over for barbecue.
Oh, they probably do like that weird thing that goats do where they're like,
yeah,
and they shake their head and they smack. Arisha probably can see it, and so can General Homestead.
If it fixed the problem, believe me, we would try.
Yeah, but I'm guaranteeing Arisha and Generational Homestead are seeing that in their mouth right now when goats are like,
heck, it's
they taste something new because it's just very specific. The body language when goats are trying something different.
Honey bunches of oats.
Honey bunches of oats?
Yep. So squeakers are a little goat.
Oh my God, yeah.
We've had plenty of video time with. I'm guilty of still bringing her in the house pretty frequently. And when she does come in, she goes right to the pantry and gets a handful of honey bunches of oats that we have on.
Makes it real nice around feeding time when she's trying to like fly out when everybody else is like going somewhere. I'm like, you don't get to force your presence into this house. But all she has to do is she looks for him and she maths differently when he walks out. I've noticed this where it's like more of a high-pitched baby math. Whereas if it's me, it sounds completely different, but it's because she knows somebody is a wimp.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
And will bring her in where I'm like, no, you're a goat now. You have to stay out here.
Yep.
So
she was raised in here, so
she's
got some connections.
So it does make another nice experience for people when they come over where we're like, oh, we have a goat that comes in the house at least once a day for like cereal. Yeah. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets Squeakers, and Squeakers walks right in here.
She made an appearance during Christmas Eve.
She did.
With your family here.
She gets really impatient when you're messing to get the honey bunches of oats, where she walks towards you really fast and will back up real slow and walk towards you real fast. I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to like intimidate me to drop the bag of honey bunches and oats, but it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Yep. Well, hello, TNS Dogs and Dragonflies. Welcome. Yep. We're happy that you're here. No need to apologize for being late. Nobody's ever late. We're just always happy when people are here. Happy New Year. So what are things we're looking forward to in the new year? We talked about our wins, which TNS Dogs, if you want to share your win from 2022 with us, what you're proud of from this year, drop that in the comments. And what? Oh, yeah.
Oregon is like that too. Actually, people can cow share though, but it's getting harder.
Yeah, I know we're allowed to herd share, but I know they watch. Yeah. They're watching social media.
I wish it'd be less stringent on that, especially with the way the supermarket, shortages have been happening. I mean, today we went up to our local dollar store and they didn't have any milk on the shelves.
They didn't have any milk.
It was strange.
No milk on the shelves.
It's just weird things that pop up.
It is what it is. I mean, since my chickens have been decimated, I'm no longer getting eggs every day.
That's so something you've been looking at really closely for the conference coming up. Getting someone that has
someone who has expertise on our home-based vendor laws, our cottage laws, even though they don't want to call it cottage laws. They're like, we call those home-based vendor laws. I'm like, of course you would, whatever, but bringing that as like an educational type deal, along with like our BOAH, which is the Bureau of Animal Health for Indiana, so that they can talk about biosecurity and like egg sales and things like that. How we can do it legally if we wanted to go to farmers markets and things like that. We can herd share, but they do watch our social medias quite closely in Indiana, like to the point where we have like a group that's Homesteaders of Indiana, and there's like 14 or 15,000 members in there. Where when someone says, I have milk for sale, it's like 20 people saying, be careful what you say on here. Like, you can only be licensed for pet consumption. And you need to make sure to state that you are licensed for pet consumption and have your license ID ready, because they monitor our social media enough where like they'll come looking for it. Like, even if like I'm licensed for pet consumption, but they have the right to test my milk whenever they want to make sure that the levels of protein and fat and all of the different levels of the things that I can get from my milk test are correct. Because then if they're not within acceptable parameters of what I've said they are, then they can fine the crap out of me and revoke my license. So super nice. I love the government.
We're just that in Oklahoma, they can sell the milk, but only off farm. And we can see our canned goods also, or sell our canned goods also, but we cannot sell our homemade cheese. So that makes no sense.
It doesn't and that's where I'm like, what is... And to say pet consumption, because then I had people that are like pet consumption. So like, I can only give it to my dogs. I'm like, I'm just going to tell you that the pet consumption I sell is the same standard that I feed my family. And we drink raw goat's milk. Like when we have milk, it's raw goat's milk. And I'm giving you pet quality, what my family would drink, like on a daily basis. And I'm like, what you do with it once you leaves my licensed hand for pet consumption milk is up to you. And that's when they were like, they're like, I gotcha. I'm like, yeah, you can do what you want with it after it leaves my hands, but I don't want to know. I'm not going to ask questions, and I don't want you to tell me. It's sad. It's like a drug deal.
Oh, they said they meant on farm.
So,
farm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha. So
Yes,
we went to HOA this year for the first time. That was when wasn't that a wonderful experience? We're already looking forward to next year.
I was gonna say we just talked about that today. Like we've actually got to start looking at our login because last year we waited last second.
It was rough.
we were able to get a hotel, of course, but it was slim pickings. So we want to get ahead of that curve. Yeah, but definitely on next year going. Yeah, it's always a great time meeting people.
It is. Arisha says, "Have you guys seen that price of eggs? Goodness, Walmart is $24 for 5 dozen." Yeah, we were actually at our dollar store, and it was $4.50 for a dozen. I was like, I've only ever asked like $2.50 to $3, even like as it was getting kind of crazy. So I do have some eggs that are water glass downstairs.
By the fox, even harder.
Well, I was going to say I went from 30 to like 11. So
you get to shop for new chickens in the spring.
I get to shop for new fresh young pullets, which is nice, but I would rather be getting my eggs.
We definitely like the Orpingtons after having some of the lavender Orpingtons.
They're just really even keeled. You know,
their temperament's really calm.
Yeah. Dual purpose bird. They're really nice.
And nice thing is you can get a variety of colors and mixes with them too. I mean, you have buff, you have lavender, you have
there's like a model Jubilee, English Jubilees.
So
very cool.
I think we're gonna probably stick with that breed, but the eggs are good stuff.
Yeah. Patty says, I'm looking forward to designing the landscape and garden at my new place and setting up my art studio.
Oh, nice.
And so much more.
That's awesome.
It's nice when you get to make a space home. You know, it makes it feel
I know
permanent.
she's especially been looking forward to getting like a garden space. She's been talking about like a really nice.
I can imagine you did so much gardening like in your past to going to somewhere where you can't really do that. Like I can only imagine like the space in your heart that it left, you know, like I told him, like, I don't know if I could ever go anywhere. I couldn't have a garden or I couldn't have a couple goats and chickens. Like it would kill me. Like I wouldn't feel like I could live there. Yep. So I'm glad that you've got space that you feel like is your own and you're making it your home.
Yep.
Patty also says, what cracks me up about the raw milk thing is this. How can these people making these laws not know people will always find a way to exactly. But that's where they get us with social media because everybody ties in and everybody wants to communicate. But we no longer like do like the face-to-face thing, which even though, I mean, like they're listening. I could tell you what I want to shop about right now, and I'm going to go on Facebook afterwards, and I'll have 10 ads for what I've talked to you guys about. Yeah, milk machines. It'll be all milk machines and goats and ultrasound machines, which is totally okay to flood my feed with, but not because they're eavesdropping on my conversation. Tinfoil hat coming back off. Sorry. Sorry. Patty, going to get me started down on things I don't want to talk about.
Says going to be doing a video soon. I'm super excited about creating a guild or orchards. I have so many great companion plants already. Just got to relocate. Super excited about it.
That's exciting. Orcharding is something I've been interested in trying to get into, even though I know, like, even for my property, like I wouldn't be planting the tree basically for myself. It would be for like Joe or grandkids or something, but it's nice but honestly, like I've always found people that start orchards. This is nothing against people that buy orchards because they're wonderful. You had people that thought of you, like even inadvertently thought of you or the people coming up behind them to feed them, which is amazing. But I think it also reads a lot into being super like committed to your land, committed to like food freedom, regardless of if it's you that gets to pick the fruit from that tree, even though it might be 10 or 15 years. It might not be you that picks the fruit from the tree. It's just the thought of having food freely accessible. That's just amazing.
Wow, generational homestead has quite a variety of eggs there. Freeze-dried eggs, water glass eggs,
pickled eggs. So do you have a freeze dryer?
That's what I was going to do.
Do you have a freeze dryer? How much do you love it? And what kind do you have?
They were selling them at the conference. They had like was it Harvest Right or something?
Harvest Right. But they had like their freeze-dried Skittles.
Oh yeah, those were good.
And Starburst.
But yeah, definitely tempting and on our bucket list, as we keep saying.
There's a lot of things I'd love to buy.
Yeah.
If I had $1 million, I'd probably blow right through it. Just getting like things like that.
Those are cool though. They can store food for so long.
Well, think you can
preserve it.
dehydrate milk. Like I can dehydrate colostrum and have powdered colostrum from my own goats and not have to worry about what they're putting in the stores.
So Arisha asked, she said she's getting 3 eggs a day. I plan to water glass next year. Did you do a how-to video?
No, but I plan to.
Yeah, should do.
There was one that and it was because it was super easy because I'm guilty about making videos like this too. So like I'm really trying to recalibrate how I do how to.
They look cool in the jar too. So
they're
we have
beautiful in the jar.
A person at our church that works in like a commercial kitchen and got us a bunch of large glass jars.
Yeah, for like pickles or jalapenos, like in the past.
Size, and like
perfect for pickling.
Yeah,
perfect.
Got the eggs in there.
So like awesome. I like distilled water, and I think it was only like 2 or 3 ounces of like hydrated lime, or pickling lime that you would put in there, and just your eggs have to be clean and you can't wash them. They have to have their natural bloom, but you do not want to put one in there that's got like a speck of poop on it. So like the ones cracks. Yeah. Make sure. But she said like someone said like if you're looking for hairline, they're like you like don't squeeze it, but like even if you give like light squeezes on each end, sometimes it'll make it breathe a little bit and show you where there are cracks. But we're getting ready to pop those open because I'm sick of paying $4 or $5 for a dozen of eggs because the fox beat me too. The fox made my life very rough. Oh, and I was talking about how-to videos. I like to talk a lot, obviously. I like to talk and drone on, so I like how-to videos that are really quick and to the point. And I'm trying to recalibrate myself to be like that, not just talk and talk.
Yeah, there's something worse when you're trying to work on something or learn how to do it, and
just get to it.
Spends all day doing it. When you have everything in front of you, you just want it. And like at the end of the video, even though it took like 45 minutes, you realize the whole process.
Well, or you're going to have people that are just critics, anyways. Like I did one on how to do self-wicking seed starting systems by using like old water bottles, and people just wanted to rag on me for using water bottles. I'm like, I have a well, it's been tested. I don't have a water filtration system because I'm cheap and we have to have bottled water for like our consumption. Like that's just what we've had to do. So, and I'm like, that was in the first like 2 minutes of the beginning, like of an overvoice. So it didn't matter. Even if like I tried to go and giving like the background as to why I was doing it the way I was doing, people still, that's totally unrelated thing. I'm sorry, Arisha.
Down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Generational Homestead said they have a video on
well, there you go.
So check that out.
There you go. It's super easy to do. Like Patty's it seems like it's not.
Left off.
So Patty said, my husband never let me have a studio space at home. And when he was alive, so this is a long awaited desire. I can't wait to show it off. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. That might help you with, I can never understand the loss that you felt, but I would feel like that might be like a healing experience for you too, to actually be able to kind of have something like that you've desired for so long. TNS said, I learned that this year I'm getting older and my gardens need to all be raised.
Yeah.
I can get down to garden, but my back does not want to let me get back up.
Something we considered in our raised garden beds. So we had a live or it was a live where we talked to the Alderman Farms, and it was Tommy and Patty. And we talked about raised garden beds, and they told us like, you do not want to be bending over
at their age,
more and more each year as you get older.
Yeah,
and they said make sure it's tall enough.
Yeah, because one of the questions was like, what are you guys like? What's something that you want to do different on your homestead? We're like, we want to do raised garden beds, but like taller. And they're like, So like ours right now, are they 2 foot?
They're almost 2 foot. Yeah.
Yeah, they're tall.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have to do that, and they're just wide enough where like I can reach. It's not really that big.
Yeah, because before they were about 12 inches high, just under, because of course
we were just using deck boards, so.
So the new ones are 2 feet, but it does make a huge difference. Now the downfall to that is like Ashley used hugelculture to fill them, because you do need a lot more dirt to fill them.
Yeah, you do.
Because you need basically twice a
hugelculture saved us, but it also saved us with an uncanny dry season.
Yeah.
And TNS, you guys are in California, right? So like that's super important for your guys's climate out there. I would assume, if I remember correctly, you guys are in California. Hugelculture is the way to go. It was one of our drier summers. I watered twice the entire time that my started plants were out there. So. Yeah, I will say like it is good to have that. So Generous Homestead says, I have a friend who has a freeze dryer and they have a freeze right. And we use it for pretty much everything.
That's awesome.
That's amazing. I love that. I like having friends that you can kind of get the hookup with where you're like, yeah, that's good. Try testing yourself with a YouTube short or Instagram reel. Mo, help me with that. I'm guessing I've started somewhere. Oh, are you talking about like tutorials, like how to do like a how-to?
But you've done YouTube shorts before.
But not for tutorials. Yeah. That's a good, Mo, though, that is a good tool to try to see like if you can do it. Yeah, because you only get like a minute to get through it. Yeah.
I've seen a couple people do it.
There are
but then there's some gaps sometimes. Right?
Well, but that's when you also make that as a teaser. Like if you'd like more, then here's the video link in the comments, to go to like the full length video. Smart. Arisha says, I have a video called Planned Out. Then I turn on the camera and it's a jumbled mess. I'm getting better, but sometimes age isn't your friend. I did a video on making goat milk butter. My scripted videos are always my worst. 100%. But I will say that the style of which I film and try to put things together now is very stressful because there's no rhyme or reason. And then you're continually trying to like pull a theme and create a story when there's actually no story at all. You're just pulling like this is my day to day, and I'm pulling it together to make it something good, and it's tough. But you know what? The good thing though with like those how-tos is they're so evergreen. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're still doing this in 10 years, that is an evergreen video that's still out there that will still be finding traffic. Whereas like my favorite vlog about, my favorite goat or doing something stupid it'll probably just be out there floating dead in the water. But the evergreen stuff will forever.
Did a YouTube short on crockpot chicken dinner. It was only 16 seconds.
Are you kidding? Huh.
I wish I could get dinner ready in 15 or 16 seconds.
I was going to say, do we really make it that fast though? That's really impressive, awesome. Mo. Like, okay, challenge accepted. I will try this.
Yep.
I don't know what tutorial I will try.
Check that one.
But I will try. I will try. Yeah, we'll have to try that. So then Patty says, it is healing. I can say without a doubt that surrendering desire to God and learning to stay at his side instead of trying to make them happen myself brings great peace and confidence in God. I want to do hugelkultur for my beds. It's so arid here in the oh my gosh, I bet it is. And you're right though. Like surrender is a hard thing to do. Like just for anybody, and not even just on a spiritual level. Yeah. Just surrendering and letting go of things is like it's tough. So surrendering your desires is I work on it every day because it's tough. I am a control freak to like the watching his face very closely as I say this. So I can control how he's reacting to me talking about how I like to control things. Not so much him, but like just like well, like with this dough that like I just want to control that. And I'm like, there are just some things where it's just like sometimes things are just a mystery and we can't really do anything about it. It kind of sucks.
Speaking of the beds real quick too, though, I mean the benefits there, like you were just saying, where dry season it stayed moist, and then on top of that, the ability to just concentrate your fertilizer in them. So we take compost out there. I use my coffee grounds, and we use eggshells and everything. We just put them in each of the beds, and then she bought a little electric rototiller that's easy to manage, and she can go over it. I mean, we've honestly have found way more pros than cons with these beds.
Oh yeah 100%.
I mean, cons is that's sort of permanent. I mean, because we moved our garden around 3 or 4 times before we finally settled.
They're heavy, but like, and they're wood. You're not
going to move them.
But there are certain things that like there are always going to be pros and cons. But like really with these, I don't ever plan to move this garden. I don't know why we didn't put our garden closer to our house anyways. I think because like when you first buy like so like our property, for those of you guys that don't know, was an old retired cornfield. There was nothing here. Like we've built everything that is on our property, or like the house we didn't build it ourselves, guys. We had someone build it for us, but like nothing was here prior. So I think when we first got this place, it was a pool between like modern couple and homestead, and modernity says large lawns that are beautiful and green. So you have spaces for people to come and enjoy. And then throwing the modernity out the window and saying, I want a simple and I want a self-sufficient life. And I want to make things easier for myself. Said, put the garden closer to the house, put the ducks where the garden used to be. The ducks are right next to the garden. So the duck manure, which is a cool compost that can go straight in from our Muscovy ducks, goes right in. The only compost we have on our farm that needs to have any time to cool down are our chickens. And usually at this point in the year, I'm feeding them like over our gardens so that they're adding nitrates and scratching them in and breaking them down faster. Just the old Justin Rhodes ways, the Joel Salatin way. Permaculture and cyclical and connected and linked together, to get the big picture done. But I just look sometimes too, like where we started and like the ideas we had and like the whole throwing the modernity out the window. That's a hard step to do for a lot of people. But there are also things here where like our milk machine, like people that I know have just like 100% laughed in my face. Like, oh, you're 34 and you have carpal tunnel in your hands from milking. I'm like, yeah, I do. And I cannot buy new hands. Like no matter what operations or medical miracles I could work on my hands, I want to sleep through the night without them going numb. And I want to be able to use them into old age. And if that means investing in a milk machine, that modernity, that modern application is laughable, then I guess I'm laughable. But at the base of it is self-sufficiency, which survival, prepping, things like that's very primal to me. Like it's very primal. So I don't know. There's my words of wisdom for the night. You can tell I'm getting tired because like I will. Mark knows this because like I'll go off on these weird tangents when I start getting tired.
That said, I did a how-to on cooking a juicy turkey and another on side ideas. They are getting good reviews. Surprised me. I'm limited on what my current niche is on YouTube, so I'm trying to evolve with what I'm handed at the moment.
I know what you mean. I don't know where we fit either.
With some of that.
I still struggle because you get people that are here for the goats, so that when I put out things like for canning or gardening or beekeeping, like they just they don't do anything. And I've just gotten to the point like I'm just going to make videos that make me happy, and that if I'm happy and passionate, then it will read through. But there is like that art of finding your niche and trying to fit in where YouTube will say, oh, this is what you're trying to do. Here's your audience. Here's your people. And we'll put you in front of your people. But sometimes YouTube doesn't like to do that so much. And I feel like homesteading is on that list of things too, that YouTube doesn't like to put up in the forefront anymore.
But I will say we've been on here a while and we better let some of these good people go to bed.
Yeah, or I'm going to start getting really weird and philosophical.
And your voice is held up pretty well, so we don't want to turn it out anymore. But it's been great chatting with you all.
Yes,
like I said, it's been a long time since we've done a live. Wanted to make sure everybody
was doing good,
thawed out since the Arctic blast. Everybody was doing well.
Doing good.
Wanted to see everybody before end of the year. So we hope everybody has a great new year ahead with many more wins and
tons. I want you all to have tenfold wins. Like what you've had wins like this year, I want tenfold for all of you next year. Because I don't know, there's something wonderful about community and feeling like you're a part of one another when you're going through like those spiritual philosophical moments of growth. That we'll keep talking about. But
for sure.
Yeah, we enjoy each and every one of you guys being here and giving your time to us and spending time and being a part of our community. We will catch you guys all in the next one. We hope that you are all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. God bless you. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. God bless.